If you're currently waiting for your green card, or you're planning to apply for permanent residency in the United States, stop everything you're doing and listen carefully. January 2026 is bringing a massive transformation to how USCIS processes green card applications that could completely reshape your timeline, your documentation requirements, and even your chances of approval. This isn't just another minor procedural adjustment. We're talking about changes that could impact millions of people in the employment-based and family-based immigration queues. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's coming, why it matters, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to protect your application. So stay with me until the very end, because missing this information could add years to your wait time. Hey everyone, welcome back to US Visa Updates. I'm here to break down the most critical immigration and visa news that directly affects your life. If you're new here, this channel is your trusted source for navigating the complex world of US immigration law, visa regulations, and permanent residency matters. We cut through the confusion and give you clear, actionable information you can actually use. Today's topic is particularly urgent. We're diving deep into the sweeping changes to green card processing procedures that USCIS is rolling out in January 2026. These aren't small adjustments. These are fundamental shifts in how America processes permanent residency applications, touching everything from your medical examination requirements to your biometrics appointments, from your employment verification to your financial documentation standards. Whether you're applying through family sponsorship, employment-based categories, or special immigrant programs, this video is absolutely essential viewing. I'm going to walk you through every major change, explain what it means in plain English, and give you concrete steps to prepare. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss critical updates like this. Trust me, you'll want to stay informed as these changes unfold. Let me set the stage by giving you some essential context. For decades, the United States has maintained what many would describe as an overwhelmed and backlogged green card system. The reality on the ground has been challenging for applicants. Processing times have stretched from months to years, with some employment-based categories seeing wait times exceeding a decade for applicants from certain countries. USCIS has struggled with outdated technology, insufficient staffing, and a massive volume of applications that keeps growing year after year. Many applicants have found themselves in a frustrating limbo, unable to make major life decisions while waiting for their cases to move forward. They can't change jobs freely if they're in employment-based categories. They face uncertainty about whether they can travel internationally without jeopardizing their applications. They struggle with maintaining valid work authorization while their cases sit in processing queues. The system has created enormous stress for families who are separated across borders while waiting for approval. But as we approach January 2026, that entire processing landscape is about to transform significantly. USCIS has announced a comprehensive modernization of its green card adjudication system, implementing new technology platforms, revised documentation standards, and significantly different processing procedures. So what's driving this major overhaul? The agency has outlined several key motivations. First and foremost is efficiency. USCIS wants to reduce the massive backlogs that have accumulated over years of underfunding and high application volumes. There's a push to leverage technology to automate routine verification tasks, allowing officers to focus their attention on cases that genuinely require human judgment and expertise. Second, there's the issue of fraud prevention. The green card system has been vulnerable to various forms of fraud, from fake employment offers to sham marriages to fraudulent supporting documents. Enhanced verification systems will help identify suspicious patterns and flag applications that require additional scrutiny before approval. Third, there's a mandate for greater transparency and accountability. Applicants have long complained about the black box nature of USCIS processing, where applications disappear into the system with little visibility into their status or what's causing delays. Now, let's get into the specific changes that are coming in January 2026. Starting with what's probably going to affect most applicants directly, the documentation requirements are being standardized and expanded. Currently, different USCIS service centers and field offices sometimes apply slightly different standards when reviewing applications. An officer in one location might accept certain types of evidence, while an officer elsewhere might reject the same documentation and request additional proof. This inconsistency has created confusion and unpredictability for applicants and their attorneys. The new system establishes uniform national standards for what documentation is required for each green card category. For employment-based applications, employers will need to provide more extensive proof of their ability to pay the offered wage. This goes beyond just submitting tax returns or audited financial statements. USCIS will require detailed breakdowns of the company's current payroll, evidence of sustained revenue generation, and documentation showing that the position being offered is permanent and not contingent on future business developments. Companies with a history of layoffs or financial instability will face additional scrutiny and may need to provide extra assurances about the stability of the job offer. For family-based applications, the affidavit of support requirements are becoming more stringent. Sponsors will need to demonstrate their income not just at the time of filing, but on an ongoing basis throughout the entire processing period. If your financial situation changes during processing, if you lose your job or experience a significant income reduction, you'll need to notify USCIS and potentially find a joint sponsor to supplement your affidavit of support. The income thresholds themselves aren't changing, but the verification process is becoming much more rigorous. USCIS will cross-reference the information you provide against IRS tax transcripts, Social Security Administration earnings records, and state employment databases. Any discrepancies between what you claim and what these government databases show will trigger requests for additional evidence and could delay your case significantly. Medical examinations are also being updated with new requirements. The civil surgeons who conduct immigration medical exams will need to use a new electronic reporting system that transmits results directly to USCIS. This eliminates the old process where applicants received sealed envelopes to submit with their applications. The electronic system reduces the potential for tampering or fraud and allows USCIS to verify that the examination was actually conducted by an authorized physician. The medical examination itself is being expanded to include additional screening tests. New requirements will check for certain communicable diseases that weren't previously part of the standard panel. Vaccination requirements are being updated to align with current CDC recommendations. If you completed your medical examination before these changes take effect, but your green card application isn't approved yet, you may be required to undergo a supplemental examination to meet the new standards. Biometrics appointments are becoming more comprehensive. Currently, most applicants attend a single appointment where they provide fingerprints, photographs, and signatures. The new system will capture additional biometric data, including iris scans and facial recognition measurements. This enhanced biometric data will be used for identity verification throughout your time as a permanent resident, not just during the initial application process. When you eventually apply for citizenship or need to obtain a replacement green card, USCIS will use this biometric data to confirm your identity more reliably. The enhanced biometrics will also help combat identity fraud by making it much harder for someone to impersonate another person in the immigration system. Interview requirements are being expanded for certain categories. While employment-based green card applicants through adjustment of status have traditionally not required interviews in many cases, USCIS is implementing risk-based interview scheduling. Applications that meet certain criteria, such as those involving first-time employers as sponsors, positions in industries with high fraud rates, or applicants with complex immigration histories, will be flagged for mandatory interviews. During these interviews, officers will verify the authenticity of the employment relationship, ask detailed questions about your job duties and qualifications, and assess whether the position truly requires someone with your specific skills and experience. Family-based applicants have always faced interview requirements, but these interviews are becoming more thorough. Officers are being trained to identify fraudulent relationships more effectively. They'll ask more detailed questions about your relationship history, living arrangements, and daily life together. Couples should be prepared to provide extensive documentation of their genuine marital relationship, including joint financial accounts, shared lease or mortgage documents, photographs spanning your entire relationship, and affidavits from people who can attest to your legitimate marriage. Processing times under the new system are expected to improve eventually, but there will likely be an initial period of disruption as USCIS implements these changes. During the transition phase, which could last several months, you might experience longer wait times as staff adapts to new procedures and works through technical issues with the new systems. However, once the system is fully operational, USCIS projects that processing times will decrease significantly for straightforward cases that meet all requirements. Cases requiring additional review or investigation will take longer, but applicants will receive better communication about what's needed and why their cases are being held. So what should you do right now to prepare for these changes? Start by reviewing your pending application if you have one already filed. Make sure all your contact information is current in your USCIS online account. Respond immediately to any requests for evidence or notices about appointments. Missing a deadline during this transition period could result in your case being closed. If you're planning to file soon, consider whether you should submit your application before or after the changes take effect. For some applicants, filing under the current rules might be advantageous. For others, waiting for the new system might actually improve their chances if their cases would benefit from the more standardized procedures. Consult with an experienced immigration attorney who can evaluate your specific situation and advise you on the best timing. Gather your documentation now rather than waiting until the last minute. The more organized you are at the outset, the smoother your process will be under the new system. Keep multiple copies of everything in both physical and digital formats. Stay informed through official USCIS channels rather than relying on rumors or secondhand information. The agency will be publishing detailed guidance about the new procedures, and you need to make sure you're following the most current requirements. These changes represent the most significant overhaul of green card processing in decades, and being prepared will make all the difference in how smoothly your application proceeds.